Boston butt. Boston butt. Shoulder butt? Sure,
Yeah,
why not?
good.
No, it's not a butt butt, okay? Okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to start with the fat side down on the table. Gather around here. Come on. Don't let the ship lean onto one side. Get this thing out of your way. Okay? You got a fat side, you got a lean side. You're going to start with the fat side down. You're going to put your elbows in. You're going to put your fingertips together to form a V. And you're going to go over the edge of the pork butt to find bone on both fingers. Both hands, bone. If you don't have bone on both hands, you do not have it in the right position. Okay? We all need to start in the same position. You're being tested on how well you follow instructions today. Kevin is going to first start by removing what we call the blade bone. The blade bone is flat on the top side, or the inside, and it has an up and over on the other side. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to locate it, you're going to set it down, and you're going to have the V away from you. Then you're going to go across the front of this, and you're going to literally take your knife and scrape right down the flat side of the bone.
So just like I did with the early piece today. Okay? Scrape right down that flat side, expose this corner, and then put your knife right down, flex it on that bone, just like how we did with the beef shank. Expose that bone all the way down. Okay? After that, the easiest thing to do is to expose the bottom of this bone. Take your knife and trace out that bone like that. Okay? So now we've released the meat from the bottom of that bone. Some of you might have a little bit of meat here in this corner that we exposed. If you can, carve that out so it'll stay a part of the rest of the meat that we have going. Take care, Dan. Okay? At this point, we can flip it over. All right? Now that little flap that we just exposed is our handle. All right? This bone right here goes straight across. We're now going to work our way down into the peaks and valleys section of this blade bone. Okay? We're going to start in the peak, go down into the valley, back up to the peak, and then scrape back out. You're going to see me use my knife like this and scrape. You're going to hear what sounds almost like a duck call. Chef calls that the sound of money, because I'm scraping meat off of the bone and putting money in his pocket. Okay? So to do that, I'm going to just expose the top of this bone here, where it is I'm going to cut into to make it easier for me. Then I get my knife in. Hear that? That's that sound. Okay? Now inside here, now we're back up to that peak. There's a peak and a valley on this bone as well. Down here is the valley. Up here is the peak. So all I'm doing is showing myself where to cut back down into. Just like how I cut to expose this to know where I had to go down into, doing the same thing up here. Just exposing where I've got to go. Okay? Now this peak, it's almost like a wave of water. It curls over a little bit, and it has a little bit of surface area at the top. So you're not going to just be able to cut straight back into it. You kind of have to follow the curve of that wave a little bit, all right? So now that I've exposed that, I get back down in here, and I scrape away again. Okay? So now really all that's left is to trace out the edge of this bone, because we've already exposed the bottom of it. Not too much meat left in that bone. Okay, now to review. We found the corner of blade and oval. Okay? Found the corner of blade and oval. Found that corner. We put it away from us. We traced down and exposed that corner. We traced down, put our knife on the bone, exposed all the way down. We released the bottom of this bone, the meat from the bottom of the bone. We released this little corner of meat up top here. We flipped it. We used that flap as our new handle. We exposed where we were going to cut into, down into the valley, back up to the peak. We traced out where we're going to go back into, down that peak and valley, and then got back in and scraped, and then the bone just sort of traced right out. Okay? Do we have any questions on what we just did? This is what we're looking for, that kind of yield. Okay? Think you can do it?
Yes.
Get after it.